Michelle Clermont is a single mom, lives with her teenage daughter who is afflicted with a disease which is known as NAFLD. And since her daughter was diagnosed in 2008, she's been running a support group on Facebook, blogging on WordPress, and working with the Canadian Liver Foundation to find answers and to provide support. Here to tell us about that, Michelle Clermont.
Good evening, London, Ontario. I am brand new to your city. I moved here in July. This is my daughter, Megan, who is 15 years old and has been sick since 2008 with fatty liver disease, also known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Tonight, I want to share important information with you to protect your own families because this disease is affecting 6 million children from the ages of 2 to 18. It is affecting 30% of North Americans. Look around you. 1 in 3 of you have this disease at some level. My daughter was diagnosed in 2008 after a bad bout of pneumonia left her vulnerable. Today, I'm going to share some of what I've learned in the last 3 years. Living with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease means you are always tired, but you suffer from insomnia. Living with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease means that you have stomach aches most of the time. Living with NAFLD also means that you're not a social member of society because you're too exhausted to be one. If NAFLD is impacting 30% of North Americans, it's important that you understand this information. So I'm going to first of all show you 3 sponges. They're all yellow. First one is a very healthy liver. This is what 70% of North Americans have in their body. It sits here under your right rib cage, and it's processing all the food and the beverages and the pollution and everything you put on your skin. And it does it really well. The pancreas helps it all the time by providing insulin to regulate your sugars. Every time you eat something, it sends a little message to your brain that says, I ate something, so I'm full and I don't need more food. Anything that is toxic is sent out of your body and doesn't cause any health issues for you. Our second liver, not as yellow. We've got a few problems in this liver. This is a liver that now has toxins in it because it's become overwhelmed by the amount of toxins that you've put into your body, whether that's alcohol, food, pollution, or what have you. Once the liver gets to this stage, this liver becomes aggravated, frustrated. It doesn't want to cooperate anymore. So this liver is going to send some of the messages to the brain that says, yeah, you know what, I'm full, I don't need any more food. And it'll let the pancreas help out with regulating sugar a little bit, but it's kind of a lazy liver at this point. You would notice if you have this liver, and this is the one that 30% of North Americans have, if you have this liver, you're going to notice stomach aches under your right rib cage, and you're going to notice issues with exhaustion and insomnia. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have children, seeing stomach aches in your child, and maybe that you think they're kind of lazy, you might want to have their liver checked. Now, this is our big uncooperative liver. And only 10% of people get our liver to this stage with food, but it gets there. The liver is swollen. It is fully engulfed in toxins. Essentially, every toxin has been stored like in a little cell or a shelf, as I like to use an analogy of, and there is nothing left for it to do. At this stage, this liver has to be replaced. So you're either looking at a transplant or you're possibly looking at passing away from this disease. So this is critical information. I know 4 people that have passed away in the last 3 years due to this disease because they didn't get a transplant in time. I know 5 people that are currently waiting for a transplant. And I know 1 man in London who came within 1 day of losing his life, and he received a new liver and has now got a new lease on life. These livers are destroyed by food. I know you would understand that you should not eat junk food. That's common sense. But what if I told you that with healthy foods in the grocery store, you're also at risk of impacting your liver? High fructose corn syrup is proven now to be a cause of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This started in the 1970s with the government putting it in as many products as possible because it was cheap to make and it was also cheap to produce for manufacturers. I will show you some examples of products that it is in that might surprise you because you wouldn't think that these products would be unhealthy for you. Vegetable juice. You would think you're making a healthy choice if you're drinking vegetable juice, wouldn't you? Second ingredient on this label, fructose. Brand cereal. All brand buds. How many of you stick that on the top of your cereal in the morning to give yourself that added fiber? Guess what? Fiber doesn't taste so good. So they add fructose to improve the flavor of fiber. Does anyone recognize this yogurt? Activia. This makes you regular, keeps you healthy, right? It also has fructose on its label. Crackers. This is your mother lode. Not only do you have fructose, you've got MSG, and you've got tons of sodium. So really, if you want to hurt yourself, perfect. And this is probably one of the things that really disturbs me the most. When I went looking in the baby aisle, I found not only is it in toddler biscuits, it's also in baby formula. So read your labels. If you've got to protect anybody, it's your babies. And kids as young as 2 are being diagnosed with fatty liver disease. No, there's granola bars there. Also, going through the snack aisle, I looked at granola because granola is another thing that we feed our kids a lot of, and we're comfortable with knowing that that would be a healthy thing for our children. I found very natural granola bars with fructose in it. My daughter and I do a lot of label reading, and that is really what I want to encourage all of you to take the time to do. Don't trust the corporations. They're not in this for you. They're not in this to keep you healthy. They are truly looking to make money. Fructose is addictive. Fructose actually turns off insulin in the liver, and it also shuts off a message to the brain to tell it that you ate food. So think about that. It's in your pop, it's in your juice, it's in your ketchup, it's in your soups, it's in a lot of foods. So take that time and make sure you read the labels.